There are two types of conservatives in Europe: European conservatives who work to preserve values and history that are natural to our continent and people, and European conservatives who are native Europeans indoctrinated with values of other civilizations that are not ours, and which contradict the direction of our history and the morals instilled by it. These full European conservatives have taken precedence over the genuine European conservatives in the public space, with their alien views loudly proclaimed across traditional and unconventional media and increasingly shaping our politics. Examples of these European conservatives are numerous and telling. Across the continent, right-wing and far-right politicians have openly cultivated and continue to cultivate cordial relations with President Vladimir Putin of Russia. This is not simply diplomacy, but a flirtation with an authoritarian model fundamentally opposed to Europe's traditions of the rule of law and democratic pluralism, which has been set against us for centuries. By admiring Moscow's centralized control rather than Brussels' more decentralized and democratic approach, they betray Europe's hard-won political heritage bestowed by our ancestors in favor of a power that seeks to weaken and divide the Western world. In Poland, segments of the conservative establishment have imported ideas wholesale from the United States, especially in the sphere of abortion politics. The aggressive restrictions introduced there echo the American Supreme Court's revocation of the Roe v. Wade far more than any current European precedent. Rather than defending Polish or European moral traditions as they exist today, they imitate the culture wars of another continent, recasting them as our own. In Britain, national politics has become increasingly susceptible to the interventions of figures such as Elon Musk. Through his ownership of X, he has used the private platform to shape public discourse and amplify partisan narratives, often through the likes of Nigel Farage. Yet Musk is neither British nor European, but a South African-born, American-naturalized entrepreneur with little to no connection to the civic traditions of the United Kingdom. His influence his influence is emblematic of how outside forces exploit technological dominance to redirect Europe's internal debates for their personal gain. And from across the Atlantic, Christian influencers in the United States, and very few from Canada, attempt to re-evangelize Europe with doctrines alien to our religious heritage. Chief among these is the so-called prosperity gospel, a distinctly American creed that equates divine blessings with financial success. If you are a practicing Catholic, such as myself, you will know that in today's Holy Mass, the theme of worshipping money was raised, and it was made clear in the Gospel given to us by the Holy Spirit that true wealth comes from loving and knowing God as our Creator, not money. Teachings such as the prosperity gospel distort Europe's Christian inheritance of humility and communal duty, replacing it with a commercialized spirituality foreign to our soil. True European conservatives understand that democracy, international cooperation, and personal freedom, through relatively new developments in our continent's long history, have become embedded in our psyche and culture. They are no longer experiments, but they are part of our daily lives. To defend Europe is therefore to defend these principles, not to abandon them for foreign models of drastic regime change, as we are seeing across among our Georgian brethren, or imported cultural wars. On matters such as abortion, real European conservatives recognize that controversy exists, and I personally recognize the variety of opinions as valid. Yet, rather than mimicking the polarized battles of other societies, we have developed our own solutions rooted on the European tradition of pragmatism and care. High quality, affordable healthcare, financial support for families, and other decades old policies born in Europe and often championed by progressives allow a genuine balance between work and life. These achievements are most visible in the northern countries, which have demonstrated that a supportive socio-economic environment can make family life sustainable. Contrary to the distorted claims echoing across social media, the Nordic model does not discourage childbirth. Instead, it encourages societies where children are seen not as burdens but as blessings. Low birth rates are indeed a challenge with many complex factors and require many complex solutions, but they cannot be solved through crude regulation of the wombs which we women are blessed with. They can be initially addressed by fostering harmony between individuals, families, communities, and our surroundings. If such a concept were embraced across Europe, birth rates would not miraculously surge, but they could improve in a way that strengthens both society and the dignity of the individual. I believe this is a true task of European conservatism to defend our continent's traditions while embracing the values we have made our own, even though not originally ours in the conservative sense, and to resist the temptation of foreign models that lead us away from ourselves.